Alright guys, welcome back to another scooter video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a kickless. This trick is pretty easy, but at the same time it has a couple tips and tricks in it that could be a little complicated. But the first thing you want to make sure to do is wear a helmet. You always want to make sure you have your helmet on when you're learning new tricks as well. Might as well throw on some knee pads. It's always good to make sure you're not going to land on your knees and get hurt. Also, they save you when you bail. But let's go ahead and move on to the tip number one. So when you're first trying them, you want to make sure that you know how to heel whip. You want to make sure you have this heel whip motion down. You want to make sure you keep them close to your body. When you're doing them, you're not going to want to throw it way out here. You throw it out there, it's going to be so much harder to bring in. So when we do them, we want to keep them close to our body, as close as possible. So now we got the heel whips going pretty smooth and you got them pretty consistently. We want to make sure that you're actually doing the kickless on the right side. So when you're doing them, you want to first kick it with your heels. You don't want to be kicking a regular tail whip and doing a kickless this way, because then you're going to have to catch a heel side. It's going to be so much easier when it comes down to catch a toe side. So you're first going to want to kick it with your heels, kick it out to the side, and then when it comes back around, you're catching with your toes, just like you would a normal tail whip. This is going to help you be able to do kickless combos where you add multiple whips to it, and overall, it's going to allow you to do them air and everywhere else a lot easier. But now that you've decided you know which way you're going to do them, kicking them with your heels first, we're going to practice doing hip whips. Hip whips are just like kicklesses, but instead of kicking a heel whip first, you bring it straight up like this, giving a nice little flick motion, and getting that whip to turn all the way around. So what we're doing, again, we're bringing it straight up, whipping without kicking it. This is getting us the muscle memory in our shoulder and elbow to flick it down just like a normal kickless. Because a kickless is the same motion, just we're kicking a heel whip first. So again, with the hip whip, we're pulling it straight up and whipping it down. Alright, now once you feel comfortable with hip whips, you are then ready to start moving on to kicklesses. So when you first attempt your first kickless, you want to make sure you're practicing on the ground. Don't straight to a ramp. Make sure you can do it consistently on the ground like this. If you can do this, you should be able to do it fly out or even air. But what you want to focus on when you're kicking this tail whip, heel whip, you're kicking the heel whip, kicking it around, make sure it's close to your body the entire way around. You don't want it to get too far. And once it gets about 75% of the way around, almost to the point where you'd normally catch it, that's when you're going to throw your arm up, your shoulder and arm up. You're going to flick it up, and then you're going to flick it back down. So it's like flick up, flick down. So we're going to kick it a heel whip, flick up, and then it's going to flick back down. And then once it's coming down, so you get to the point where it's heel whip, you throw the arm up and it's flicking up right here, you're kicking it back down. Once you start to kick it back down, you're going to complete it just like a normal tail whip. So you're flicking up and then continue the motion. Show you a couple different angles. Alright, so as you're doing kicklesses, you want to make sure that you can find that catch point, because every kickless has a catch point. Depending on how big and wide your scooter is, it's going to determine where your catch point is. So right about there is my catch point. So I kick about there, throw it up, and then throw it back down. And that's where it goes. I ride about 24 inches tall, and my deck is 19.5. Now, the shorter your deck is, honestly, this trick's going to be easier, but if you have a longer scooter deck, that's not necessarily the end of the world. You're going to be able to still do this trick, but the shorter it is, the easier it's going to be. So I ride 19.5. So Rapture deck is pretty light. It's only like 2.8 pounds. So that allows me to do kicklesses pretty easy. So I'm able to kick it out and not feel much stress on my shoulders. But now that we're talking about the shoulders, you want to make sure when you're doing this trick, your shoulders are pushed back. If you're doing your kicklesses like this with the rounded shoulders, you're not going to be able to get the strength to pull the kickless down, or at least not going to be able to do them for a while, because your shoulders are going to start to fall inward. You want to make sure you have them pulled back, do the kickless, and it's going to be able to make your shoulders last longer, and in general just build the muscle memory the correct way. Alright, now that you have got the kickless at least started and you maybe got that flick and catch point down, you're then going to work on catching the tail whip just like a normal tail whip. So as it's coming back down, you're going to be able to catch it with your toes just like a normal tail whip. If you need to learn how to catch a tail whip, I also have a video on how to do tail whips the correct way, which is by catching them individually, which is going to help with this trick so dramatically. So as it's coming up, you're catching just like that, and you're allowing yourself to be able to catch it just like a normal tail whip and right away. So then you're going to be able to add on multiple tail whips and catch it just like anything else. Also, when we're doing kicklesses, a main point is you keep your bars straight the entire time. So when the deck gets around like this and it's straight, you have all the leverage of your bars to control where the scooter goes. So you can control, and then you can whip it around when you need to. You don't want to start turning your bars, or else you're going to lose that leverage point. So watch right here. If I do it like this, it's all over the place. But then if I keep my bars completely straight, kick it out, I'm able to keep that leverage. Also, having wider bars does help with this trick. So if you're riding shorter bars, just put your hands out to the edge of the grips, just like if you were to do a tail whip, and then you're going to have a lot more control of your scooter. Alright, now that you have seen a kickless and you kind of can understand now where that catch point is, I want to talk to you guys about what transitions you want to do them out of. The best spots are out of mellow quarter pipe, something that maybe doesn't have coping, so you don't have to like bonk off the top. You're going to be able just to kind of mellow and cruise out like a fly out, maybe even over a box. A box is a great spot because you can land into a transition, so it's not so much impact. I would avoid first trying them, I wouldn't try them flat to begin with. I would work on trying them fly out because you're going to get that pop you need to be able to give yourself time to get it around. Once you get them pretty good out of fly out, you can try to take them off curbs and trying to work your way down until you can get them flat. As well with air, you want to make sure that you're kicking it around and fully getting that catch right there, kicking it and catching and rotating at the same exact time. But I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple more kicklesses, slow-mo it down so you guys can see how it works. Alright, one last tip before I do a couple more kicklesses. Make sure you keep the kickless between your belly button and right about here. You don't want to pull up too high, else it's going to be really hard to bring back down. As well, don't keep it too low, it's going to be uncontrollable. So keep it right between here and here when you do them, and it's going to be allowing you to do them a lot easier. As well, don't kick it away from your body. Don't do that. Turn it into like a super kickless. Don't do that. You don't want to kick it way too far out. You want to make sure you keep it close to your body. The closer it is, the easier it is going to be to return to your body. So keep it right in there. It's going to be a lot quicker, a lot easier to do. But let's get on to some slow-mo ones so you guys can see exactly how they work. Alright, one last very important tip that you want to do while practicing these tail whips, not necessarily on a ramp, but in your room or in your garage somewhere, is just practicing on the flat ground. I would preferably try to kick them back and forth and work those muscles until you can get consistent at doing this back and forth. This is also going to help you in the future when you try to do double kicklesses over boxes or anything. It's really going to help, but I would recommend, again, just if you don't want to do double kicklesses, work on kicking them back and forth, just like this. The closer and tighter you can do them, the better this is going to be for you. So just keep practicing the motion, and I promise you'll get it. Make sure to comment below and let me know how close you got to landing it, or maybe you landed your first one. But I'd love to hear it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video. I'm going to end you guys with a double kickless right here, just so you can see how it works. Alright, that right there is going to show you guys how to kickless. I really hope you guys learned how to kickless by the end of this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.